Now, police in Australia say they've made what's thought to be the country's biggest ever drug bust.
In the shadows of the criminal underworld, a deal is going down.
Load 'em up, buddy! It's fucking kilos, bro. Yes, duffel bags. Holy sh**.
Think your commute is stressful? Wait till you see these drug dealers crack under pressure after getting caught by the cops. From millions of dollars worth of drugs to routine traffic stops turning into huge busts. Buckle up, folks. I'm about to reveal some of the biggest drug busts caught on camera. Number 1. Routine stop turns into massive cocaine bust. I know for a fact that someone tipped these cops. After cuffing up both the drivers, they went straight for the gold. They didn't even bother checking the trailer or anything. And that, my friends, is because these drug pushers just got ratted out. Anyway, after finding 2 huge boxes of cocaine, the officers know they're in for a serious promotion. Believe it or not, the total estimated value of that cocaine they just found is over $2 million. Yes, you heard that right. That's an easy $2 million right there in those boxes. I'm still kind of shocked by all the reactions this clip got, though. A lot of people think this was just the bait to occupy the cops, as the real shipment passed through without any checking. What if that was actually true? Number 2. An entire menu of narcotics.
Alright, could you step out and car for me for just a minute?
This clip just gets worse with every passing minute. Plus, whatever happened to laying low? Considering the variety of drugs this dealer had in his car, he should have been blending in. But nope. Let's carry like 10 different types of drugs and break the speed limit on the highway in a car with expired tags. But this guy had it all. And while the bust wasn't obviously as big as the first we just saw, all that must be worth at least tens of thousands of dollars. They even found an unlicensed firearm along with all the drugs, and even though I'm no expert on the law, I'm pretty sure this dude is about to go away for a very long time. Number 3. $5 million bust. Who knew running a red light could end up costing you $5 million? The footage you see right now is actually a news report with officers catching a truck full of leafy buds. Just look at all that weed. There has to be at least 200 packages wrapped all ready to be handed over to dealers. But that's not going to be happening thanks to these officers who just stopped around 2,700 pounds of weeds from hitting the streets. Plus, a shipment as large as this can only mean one thing: cartel. This is clearly a cartel movement since smaller dealers never move that much product in one go. Again, considering the sheer size of cartels these days, it's possible this could just be another bait package. Number 4. Police raid a drug house. This is like something straight out of an action film. I mean, the way they tear down this house to break in is just wild.
Police! Go farther, bro.
And what's even wilder is how this is the police's 9th time raiding this house. It's the usual suspects, though. The neighborhood dealers and gangbangers, and once the SWAT team rushes in and drags out these criminals,
Suspects coming out.
what they recover will blow your mind. Along with several handguns and at least 500 rounds of ammo, the SWAT team recovered around 700 grams of cocaine and another 3 pounds of weed. What doesn't make sense to me is how they're still on the streets if they've already been raided like 8 times before this. Number 5. Pick better drivers. The cartel seriously needs to pick better drivers. Hypothetically speaking, if I were behind the wheel of this car, I'd be driving like I'm giving an exam. But not this dude here. He was driving like a maniac with more than $100,000 worth of cocaine stuffed under the trunk. And after locating one of the bricks, the officer just pulls up the lining of the truck, revealing a dozen other bricks packed underneath. But now for the crazy bit, this guy was actually dismissed. Since the police stopped him for speeding, they couldn't investigate him for a different crime. Sounds absurd, I know. Number 6, not the brightest out there. I mean, I understand how terrifying it must be to see a cop car right in front of you with like $600,000 worth of cocaine in your vehicle. But speeding past them is just begging for attention at this point. And with the police hot on their tail, these drug movers are left with only one option. One of them hops out with the drugs while the driver races off, trying to distract the officers. Nice try, but that's not going to work because let's face it, both of these guys would rat on each other in a heartbeat. Anyway, it's not long before the cops finally get the driver to pull over. And like I just said, the driver eventually admitted to possession and ratted on his partner as well. But yeah, it still blows my mind how half a mil worth of cocaine can be transported so easily. Number 7. Someone dropped a dime. There's no way someone didn't drop a dime on this driver. The police pulled him over for close following, but let's face it, I think we all know this was just a setup. Someone ratted this brother out. But as long as it means less drugs on the streets, I think we can all get behind it. Anyway, when the officers search this black Cadillac, what they find inside is crazy. 420 bottles of promethazine. And in case you don't know what that is, let's just say around 2 bottles is enough to sedate a grown man. Number 8. This lady knew the business. I'll be honest, this lady definitely knew what was up. She didn't answer any questions and even refused to admit that the truck was hers.
Not too bad. I'm gonna pick up this penny that fell out of your door, okay? Is this your truck?
No, it's a rental.
A rental? Did you rent it?
Yes.
Okay, do you have the rental agreement and your license?
Yes.
That was also down there. I didn't want that to blow out.
Till the very end, she maintained her position as a hired driver moving some furniture.
Are you doing this for a company?
A company?
Yeah.
No, it's because I used to move things at other times, so that's why.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you know this, but these shipments usually have spotters following closely behind. As soon as they get pulled over, the spotters ring up the boss and inform them of the bust.
Is you nervous? Smell that. It's air pressure. It's like downy or something. That's what I said. It's like a soft air.
And that's one of the reasons why this lady won't admit to anything, because she knows snitching isn't going to help.
No weapons on you?
No.
I'll just have you put your hands on top of your head. I'm just going to pat you down with the back of my hand, okay? Face the car. There you go.
Anyway, after going through the back, the officer locates a duffel bag, and what do you know? There's 110 pounds of cocaine just lying there.
Load 'em up, buddy! It's fucking kilos, bro. No. Yes, duffel bags. Holy shit. My God. Woo!
That's worth an estimated 1.7 mil on the street. And after hearing that figure, it makes sense why the cops were high-fiving each other. Number 9. Truck ain't truckin'. There has to be a better way to transport this stuff. I mean, either the cartel is too lazy, or they're just too stupid to think of something new.
Try to keep it under 65, all right?
I did.
We're going 70 there in the left lane, all right?
I was trying to get you past by. Hold on, sir.
So this is your truck?
Company truck, sir.
Like 115 pounds of cocaine right there in plain sight waiting to be found. That's crazy. And this driver here as well. At least have a story or something. Like the woman in the last clip knew to keep her mouth shut and answer nothing about the drugs.
You have no registration, sir?
So you say you've been with them how long now?
Just a year, sir.
1 year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how many trucks do they have?
Just one.
One truck, that's it?
Yes, sir.
What's inside the trailer?
It's empty.
There's no load?
It's empty. I'm going to a repair shop.
Okay.
Yeah, going to Greenwood.
But this dude is just making it worse for himself by coming up with the strangest story ever. Again, if we're talking about the technicalities of it, there's no way a cop can search the vehicle without probable suspicion. So I'm guessing someone phoned the hotline and gave this man up. Number 10. Biggest bust in state history. Get a load of this, folks.
Good morning. How are you today? Good. Trooper Rouse with the state police. Do you have your driver's license? Okay, yeah, grab that for me. Do you have the registration and insurance as well? Yeah, that looks like it. All right, what I'll have you do, sir, is I'll have you just step out with me, okay?
This routine traffic stop ended up turning into the biggest bust in state history.
2 or 3 times since I've been behind you. And then that frame around your license plate, you see that black frame?
The driver was pulled over after speeding, but after noticing how he's all woozy and nervous, the officers decided to search his vehicle.
Okay, you can go walk right in front of your car, okay? You want to come out in front and go stand just a little ways up, okay? Hey, go hook him. Go hook him.
And that's when they found 4 kilograms of illegal drugs. That's $1 million worth of drugs inside a man's vehicle. That's wild. Anyway, even though this dude got caught red-handed, I'm afraid a good attorney could get this case dismissed in a second. Even though the cops found drugs, the search was illegal. And hey, I'm as upset as you are, but that's just how the law works. Number 11, a $6 million spare tire. Finally, some creativity. When the Arkansas State Police pulled over the Hyundai for speeding, I bet they had no idea they'd come across so much fentanyl. Even though the driver looks nothing like a drug pusher, you just never know what to expect these days. I guess the officers noticed he was a bit too nervous for just a traffic stop and decided to go to work. They searched the trunk, and that's when they came across an awfully heavy spare tire. And inside was $6 million worth of fentanyl. Yep, $6 million. These officers deserve a ton of respect because, believe it or not, fentanyl is a killer. And these cops right here saved countless lives by preventing it from hitting the streets. Number 12, that's what they all say. Of course, it's not your car, buddy. And if the cops didn't find 4 kilograms of cocaine inside, I bet this guy would have never even mentioned that. When he knows the cops are onto him, that's all he keeps saying. He's telling them over and over again that he's headed to a job and this car was the only thing available at the site. So, sure, man. There's a duffel bag full of cocaine right on the passenger seat. There's no way you didn't know what was inside. But get ready for the twist. This guy was actually right about the car not being his, and he was even telling the truth about heading out to a job. The only thing he lied about, though, was, you guessed it, the cocaine. He got 7 years for trafficking with the intention of distribution. That's a huge bust right there. Number 13, a shed full of heroin. These guys are YouTube famous for busting drug dealers and catching some of the biggest loads ever. And in this clip here, you'll find a shed full of heroin. That's 17 pounds of pure uncut heroin, folks. The street value of that is approximately $2 million, and just imagine the loss of life this disgusting drug would have caused if it hit the streets. Now, a lot of people claim this was staged, but the truth is, the police actually hit up this house after an intense interrogation with a cartel member. Number 14, a nice payday. If only these suckers could complete the job.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, my name is Trooper Reginald Staples. Done nothing wrong. Okay, simple DOT inspection. You have your driver's license with you?
Word is, they were promised $1,000 each against every kilo they delivered. And inside the truck were 74 kilograms of pure cocaine. That's $74,000 each for these pushers. And the value of the entire shipment? A hefty $5.5 million. Now that's definitely some cartel stuff right there. Plus, I'm not trying to make fun here, but did you notice how the guy in the gray shirt only has one arm? It turns out, he's the real owner and driver of the truck while the other guy was hired by the cartel. I mean, could they come up with a dumber story than this? How in the world is a guy with one arm going to drive an 18-wheeler? That's about as crazy as it gets, people. But yeah, either way, both of these mules were eventually thrown in jail after pleading guilty to trafficking. Number 15, the most cigarettes I've ever seen. We've all walked into a smoke shop at some point in our lives, but still, seeing thousands of cigarette packs right in front of you can be quite an overwhelming experience. But how would you feel about finding 32,671 packs in one place? You heard that right. This driver was trying to carry nearly 33,000 packs of cigarettes worth a whopping $301,000. But you're probably wondering, why is this clip a part of this video? Well, believe it or not, these illegal cartons of cigarettes are actually the #1 item funding terrorism right now. Number 16, one of the biggest cash seizures to date. Imagine being a cop and finding $24 million stuffed inside a house's walls. $24 million. And what's crazy is how this is just a fraction of the cash discovered from an illegal marijuana operation run by 2 siblings. The cops were hot on their tail for quite some time now, and that's when they traced their last known location to this house. And if the money stashed in the walls wasn't enough, they even found bucket loads of $100 bills in every single room. Also, these 2 didn't get arrested for drug trafficking. They were actually found guilty of avoiding banking laws. What a crazy world we live in. Number 17, 50,000 fentanyl pills. Is it just me, or are these 2 criminals a little too calm right now? I don't want to say it, but maybe they're on some of the products they're transporting. The officer pulled them over for going 20 miles over the speed limit. When she walked up to the driver, she was hit with a huge cloud of smoke, prompting her to search the vehicle. But what's the most she'll find on these teenagers? A bunch of weed? Well, that would have been the best possible case, considering she found around 50,000 fentanyl pills inside the vehicle. That's $2 million right there. And just imagine being in the back of the police vehicle, knowing it's going to be a long, long time before you see the outside world again. Number 18. Selling more than just ice cream. This might not be the biggest drug bust, but it's definitely one of the funniest. Watch as police pull up to this ice cream truck after getting tipped by an anonymous source. Now, if I hadn't shared that information just now, you'd probably think these officers were just dropping by for a quick scoop. But after having a word with the driver, the officers got to work finding alcohol and the same strange-looking pills. Now, the alcohol could be for personal consumption, but I'm not too sure about the pills. What a slick dealer, though. That's like the perfect cover. You're not even drawing any attention, even if there are several people outside the truck. Number 19. A serious dent to the cartel.
Now, police in Australia say they've made what's thought to be the country's biggest ever drug bust.
So far, we've seen some crazy drug busts involving millions of dollars. But get ready to be blown away. This is the biggest drug bust in Australia's history. More than $1 billion worth of cocaine seized from the middle of the ocean. That's a real dent to the cartel now. Word is, it was a shipment headed for the country sent by the Mexican cartel, but thankfully, Operation Beach was a success as the officers seized it off the coast of South America. And while the estimated street value of it is well beyond $1 billion, that's around 2.4 tons of cocaine we're talking about here. Number 20. Bricks on bricks. What's that the police just found? It'd be a shame if that was some cocaine. Well, unfortunately for this couple, their little vacation has come to an end before it even started. They were coming into the country, but after the police detected something weird inside the luggage, they decided to have a look. And that's when they found their bags stuffed with cocaine bricks. I don't mean cocaine for personal consumption or something. I'm talking $11 million of it. So what was supposed to be a nice honeymoon for this couple turned into a nightmare after getting 8 years in prison. On a side note, imagine asking them where they went for their honeymoon. To jail, buddy. That too for 8 years. Number 21. Where to party at? Get ready for a surprise, folks. That's around $1 million in weed right in front of your eyes. And why in the world didn't the dude have a spotter? It's like he was just waiting to be caught. And again, I've said this a million times already, but why do they break the simplest traffic laws ever? Like you're carrying enough drugs to put you away for life and you still can't follow rules? Who's even picking out these drivers? Anyway, the bust is, of course, a big one since that's a lot of weed, but officers actually found the best criminal. Not only did he admit to the crime, but he also ratted out the entire organization and all its locations. Now, that right there is a dream criminal for most police officers out there. Number 22. SelfTRP. This might not be one of the biggest drug busts you've seen, but it's definitely one of the most hilarious. After spotting the cops hot on their tail, they decide to floor it, thinking they can actually escape. But what happens next is just hysterical. The driver tries to squeeze through a tight opening, but he just ends up upending the car. Plus, all exits are blocked as well, so these drug dealers pretty much trap themselves in this mess. Around $13,000 of heroin and cocaine were found on them, meaning these boys are about to get some jail time. Number 23. Nice try. Keep acting surprised, bud. That's not going to help you one bit now since you've been busted. He's actually a model from the UK who was on vacation in Peru. But just before he could board the plane and head back to London, the border security found something suspicious in his luggage. After ripping through his bag, they found 2 kilos worth of cocaine. And even though that's a huge payday, these guys don't get a lot since they're just mules moving the drugs from one place to another. I bet this is going to do wonders for his modeling career. Have fun in jail, though. Drug house raided. Enough of all the drugs and busts, people. Let's end this video on a fun note. Check out this footage of the police raiding a drug house. The places these drug pushers hid will leave you laughing out loud. I mean, they found them hiding in the attic, inside dryers, and behind clothes. It was nothing less than a comedy film in which we see people trying to hide behind the tiny things while half of their body is sticking out. And as for that dude who hid inside the dryer, I'm not gonna lie, that's mad impressive. He's at least 6 feet tall, and I still can't understand how he must have gotten inside. Either way, the days of dealing are long over for these fools. Along with arresting several local dealers, the police found a variety of drugs inside the house, including fentanyl, cocaine, and meth. Anyway, that's it from our side, folks. So, what do you think? Have you ever heard of some huge drug busts in your city? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more interesting content in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.